The universe has something important to tell you today. And it's not just anything. It's something that could only come now at this exact moment in your journey. Take a deep breath. There is a frequency around, unheard. A silent vibration that cuts through your doubts and gets to the heart of what you really feel. The message is coming not to confuse you, but to remind you of what you already know deep down, but perhaps have forgotten. Now is the time to listen. There is something stuck inside you, a feeling that won't go away, as if a part of you is trying to understand why the connection with that person seems so truncated. There is no real exchange, there is no constant presence. You feel it even when you try to rationalize it. Maybe you're apart, maybe she's gone forever, or maybe you're going through a difficult time. But what is most disturbing is that, somehow, this absence seems intentional. No matter how much the days go by and everything around us functions normally, there is this specific emptiness, this emotional gap that insists on remaining. And the strangest thing is that it seems that at the same time that there is no communication, this person is still connected to you. Present in thoughts, present in intuition, present even in dreams. She may have tried to pull away, she may have even done so suddenly, but she couldn't really break away. And neither do you. No matter how much you tell yourself that you've overcome everything, there's something latent there, a loose piece that insists on repeating itself internally. Why? There's a kind of silent disconnect going on. On one side, someone who feels too much, but doesn't act. On the other hand, someone who observes everything and doesn't understand the reason for the separation. And that's where the universe comes in to show you what's hidden beneath this apparent distance. What you feel is not an invention. There is indeed an attempt by this person to reconnect, but they do so in a camouflaged, discreet way, without the courage to show themselves completely. It all seems like a game of disguise. She observes, tries to get closer, but without actually revealing herself. Maybe you think that this way you will have more control. You might think that if you don't notice, you can back away without getting hurt. What she doesn't realize is that this approach only reinforces the distance. There is a strong emotional turmoil coming from that other side. Someone who can't deal with their own feelings, who tries to rationalize everything, who feels and denies at the same time. And when he tries to come back, he does so without truth, with calculated phrases, rehearsed excuses, stories that don't match the facts, because the fear of failure still dominates. This person is afraid to show vulnerability. Her ego is fragile and any rejection would be seen as humiliation. That's why she protects herself, that's why she lies, and deep down she knows she made a mistake. She knows she let a valuable opportunity pass her by, and she tries to fix it, but not with authenticity, with strategy. The universe wants to show you this clearly. You are not dealing with someone who is mean, but rather someone who is lost in their own insecurities. A person who sabotaged what he felt, perhaps because he thought he wouldn't be able to sustain a real surrender. Someone who is frightened by emotional depth and therefore avoids direct contact. She preferred to maintain superficial relationships, easy to control. She chose escape routes instead of allowing herself to truly feel. Now, realizing what he lost, he tries to get back, but still without having learned to put himself in the truth. And that's where you need to listen carefully, because this reconnection won't be done with pretty words or promises. It will only be possible if it is true. And at this moment, the universe alerts you. That truth has not yet arrived. There is a fine line between someone who tries to hide something and someone who doesn't know how to reveal what they feel. And this person you still connect with emotionally seems to be right in that place between being afraid to show themselves and wanting to get closer. The universe reveals that deep down she never intended to walk away completely. The distancing, as much as it seemed definitive, was more of an escape than a decision. When things started to get more intense, she felt like she was losing control, not because of you, but because she was afraid of what she was feeling. Instead of admitting the feeling, he preferred to retreat. And more than that, making excuses, creating distractions, pretending to be happy. There is an energy of someone trying to look good, who wants to appear resolved, but is emotionally fragmented. She tries to convince the world and herself that everything is fine, but the truth is that she thinks about you all the time. You may have noticed this contradiction. A sudden separation, with no clear explanation, followed by strange behavior. A like here, a silent presence there, a veiled attempt at return. It's no coincidence. This person is looking for gaps, doesn't know how to open the door again, so tries to push through the cracks. The most striking thing is that while she wants to go back, she doesn't feel ready to face what she caused, is not ready to take responsibility for herself. You are afraid of being confronted, of having to explain, of having to admit that you failed. Therefore, he invents stories, creates alternative narratives, tries to get closer with half-truths. For some people, this might seem like manipulation, but the universe shows you that, in this case, it is self-sabotage. This person is trapped in a cycle where the fear of making a mistake again is greater than the desire to get it right. And this prevents her from acting clearly, from speaking from the heart. There were real feelings, there was a strong connection, but there was also insecurity, a disorganized emotional structure, and even a tendency to destroy everything when things started to go well, as if she unconsciously believed she didn't deserve that. You've probably noticed this self-destruction. It could have been a cutting comment, an abrupt departure, an argument created out of nowhere. She acted against what she felt, and today she carries that regret as a constant presence. No matter how much she tries to erase the memory, something inside her insists on reminding her that there was something true there. Yet, as she tries to reach out now, she still doesn't know how to be transparent. She is developing a strategy, a way to appear changed, to show evolution, perhaps even using spiritual speeches as an attempt to show growth. But the universe warns you, not everything that seems to awaken has its roots in truth. Sometimes it's just another disguise to avoid pain. It's hard to accept this when there's feeling involved. You might want to believe that she came back because she transformed. You may want to give it another chance, but before that, you need to acknowledge it. Without truth, there is no possible new beginning. You don't need made-up stories, you don't need rehearsed justifications, you need real presence, someone who not only desires you, but is willing to support what they feel. And this person, at this moment, still struggles with their own shadows, still driven more by insecurity than by love. Her energy says she wants to come back, but the way she tries to do so shows she hasn't learned what she needed to. And that is why the universe asks you to pay attention, so that you trust your intuition, the clarity that you already carry within you, and do not allow beautiful words to confuse you again. You felt the truth from the beginning, and even when you tried to deceive yourself, your body, your dreams, your perception warned you. Now is the time to fully trust that perception. The universe is trying to show you something essential. When someone returns to your life without truth, what they seek is not connection, it is relief. Relief from your own guilt, from your own emptiness, from the anguish you feel knowing you lost something that still matters. And that's exactly what's at stake now. This person is planning a rapprochement, but not in the way you deserve. What she is preparing is a strategic return thought out down to the smallest detail, not out of malice, but out of fear. She believes that if she comes to you with a compelling story, She might be able to get your attention back. Maybe she can break the ice. Maybe you are still available. And that is the most delicate point. She doesn't know if you're still there, and that's why she prepares herself. That's why she rehearses. That's why she invents. What you might hear if this reunion happens won't be exactly the truth. It will be a version of the story shaped to generate empathy, perhaps even pity. She may use spirituality as a veneer, trying to appear transformed. She can use soft words, a calm tone, a new way of speaking. But this is all part of a script, not a genuine transformation. That's the trap. Because those who truly miss you come back with the truth. Those who are truly sorry expose themselves, admit it, cry if necessary. Apologize without expecting immediate forgiveness. He doesn't try to control the narrative. He doesn't try to predict your reaction. He just surrenders. But this person is afraid to give in and, therefore, is using other strategies. She may try to provoke you emotionally. She may involve people close to you, invent situations, plan information, all to try to get your attention, because deep down she knows, if she came with the raw truth, it might not be well received. And that is the biggest evidence that he has not yet matured. Those who have learned from pain do not fear the other person's no, they accept it. Those who are still in the same vibration as in the past try to manipulate the environment before exposing themselves. And that is what the universe wants you to see now with total clarity. You are in a different moment. You no longer have patience for emotional games. You already understand that love is not just desire or longing, it is a commitment to the truth. And if that person can't even be sincere when looking for you, how could they sustain a real relationship? This announced return may even come with promises, but pay close attention. Will they come before any concrete action? Will they come before any real gesture of reparation? If so, you already have your answer. Your energy today is asking for peace, it is asking for coherence, it is asking for reciprocity. And the universe is making it clear, this kind of energy cannot be sustained by well-told lies. It is very likely that when this person appears, something inside you already knows, you will feel it, you will notice it in the way they speak, in their eyes, in the rhythm of the conversation. Even if she tries to appear centered, your intuition will pick up on the discomfort behind her speech. Because whoever lies, no matter how much they try, can never completely hide it. And you changed. Today you see, today you feel. It's not about judging or condemning, it's about protecting what you've built inside yourself. It's about not allowing anyone into your life without being willing to stand in truth. If that person comes back, listen, but listen with a calm heart and eyes wide open. Understand what is being said and what is being hidden. You will know. The universe will let you know. The truth is, you don't need any more proof. Somewhere inside you, you already understood everything. Not because someone told you, but because you felt it. And when intuition speaks, it doesn't shout, it whispers. And yet it is impossible to ignore it. The person trying to get back into your life today is in conflict. She misses it, but she doesn't want to give up control. She remembers you fondly, but she is afraid to give herself away, and so she tries to find you again in the safest way for her, hiding who she really is. You've already seen this story play out. You know the plot, and more importantly, you know how it ends. The universe is making it clear there's a vast difference between someone who returns out of love and someone who returns out of need, wounded pride, or lingering regret. The first offers genuine presence, the second, merely an illusion. Perhaps you've waited a long time for a conversation, a gesture, an explanation. Maybe you imagined a reunion where everything would finally make sense, but time has passed, and you've changed. What once brought pain now only serves as a lesson. What was once a patient wait has become a firm boundary. And what once made you long for a return now makes you pause and reflect. If they come back with the same untruths, your intuition has long been sending warnings about the uncommunicated message, the seemingly rehearsed excuse, that unsettling silence which felt less like absence and more like a hidden secret. Every detail has been a reminder that you deserve more, that you can no longer invest yourself where truth is absent. The universe doesn't wish for you to become hardened, but for you to learn. It wants you to stop accepting emotional scraps and, most importantly, to understand that if someone has to lie to win you back, they are not truly ready to love you. It's difficult to accept this, especially when the feeling was real and the connection strong. However, not every intense experience is meant to continue. Sometimes, what needs to continue is your own journey with your dignity, your peace, and your clear path forward. This person feels your absence, that is a fact. They think of you often, but they are paralyzed by their own ego, afraid to try again and fail. This is why they resort to lies, because they want to avoid the frustration of rejection. So, they attempt to control the narrative, manipulate the situation, and lure you in with vague words and empty promises. Now, you only need one thing: trust in yourself. This isn't about pride or emotional detachment, it's about self-awareness. You've offered space, shown patience, and tried to understand. Now is the time to protect yourself. This cycle needs to conclude with clarity, not anger, with understanding, not resentment, and with firmness. If this person returns, as it seems they will, be present, but be present for yourself, not for them. Observe, listen, and feel. Your intuition will reveal everything, and perhaps the greatest gift is realizing that you no longer need external validation to know the truth, because you already possess it. You are no longer where this story began. You've navigated through cycles, experienced absence, sought answers, and yet you've moved forward. The universe wants to remind you now that self-love is also a choice. And more than that, it is the choice that transforms everything. This person may reappear, claiming to have changed, using carefully chosen words, even trying to seem more evolved, lighter, or more spiritual. However, you will notice that something about them still feels artificial. This isn't because you are suspicious, but because your sensitivity is now finely tuned enough to perceive what does not resonate with truth. You are not the same as before. Today, you are not satisfied with promises lacking substance. Today, you do not accept the presence of those who are not whole. Today, you understand that love disguised as an excuse is not love. It is attachment, vanity, and fear of being alone. The universe now presents you with a clear choice: continue looking back, waiting for what never materialized, or choose yourself and make room for what genuinely deserves your presence. Because when you align with your own truth, everything false loses its power, including people who try to deceive you with unresolved intentions. You don't have to harshly reject anyone, but you also don't have to accept someone who merely seeks to alleviate their own guilt. Your path has already been forged. And though this story was important, it does not define your destiny. The universe reminds you that life constantly sends signs. When something begins to lose its meaning, it's an indication that you've outgrown it. And now, everything within you yearns for true connection. No games, no masks, no manipulations. If that person had truly understood what you represent, they would have returned differently. But they still don't understand, and perhaps they won't be able to now. And that's perfectly fine. This is no longer your responsibility. Your role is to nurture your energy, your peace, and your plans, leaving space only for what is sincere. Time will take care of the rest. You deserve a pure love, a clear presence, a partnership that doesn't confuse you, someone who looks you in the eye and tells you the truth, even when it's difficult. And the universe is arranging exactly that. But to receive it, you must release what tries to enter through the cracks of doubt. Now that you understand everything, breathe. Let this message settle within you. And when someone returns speaking pleasant words but lacking genuine energy, you will recall what you've read here and smile, because you will know you no longer need that. What you deserve is coming, and it will arrive without needing to hide anything. You arrived at this understanding because you already felt it, you already intuited it. And now the universe has confirmed what your heart silently knew. You deserve truth, you deserve clarity. You deserve a love that doesn't conceal itself. If this story resonated with what you are experiencing, consider writing in the comments, "I deserve truth in my life." This can help the universe acknowledge your decision. If this video touched you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This way, you'll continue to receive messages aligned with your journey. Until next time, with more truths for your heart.